this computer.
Hello, I'm Ravina. I'm an education worker for Show Racism and the Red Card Wales. This is Kate, and we're excited to be delivering online workshops for your school. We've put together some frequently asked questions from other teachers to help you get the most out of your training session. So Kate, firstly, what can I expect from a Show Racism and the Red Card online workshop?
Well, a lot of teachers ask this of us, and really it's very similar in terms of content to our normal workshops. So there's activities, there's education about what racism is, and often we'll look at terminology, looking at racist words, non-racist words, and we kind of guide pupils through and try and get them to interact with us as much as possible so that we can all learn together.
That sounds great. Thank you. And how can I prepare for the online session?
So the best thing that you can do is have a look at all the stuff that Show Racism and the Red Card send out to you. There's a folder in there. It's got lots of things, lots of information. If you've been sent pre-work, such as a little workbook for the film, if you're at primary level, please can you set aside maybe an hour or so just to complete that with the pupils. And remind the pupils that even though the sessions are online, that they are treated like other lessons, and that way they'll get a lot out of it.
Thank you. And how can I provide support during the session?
Okay, so it's amazing. The teachers will get, the pupils will get most out of it if the teachers are really, really engaged. So to start with, you'll log into the Teams meeting, you'll have the link sent ahead. Ideally, you'll set up your laptop so that the pupils can be seen and heard by the person presenting, whether that's Ravina, me, or another member of our team. The laptop should be linked to a screen or an interactive whiteboard, whatever facilities you've got in your school, so that the pupils can see us clearly and see the presentation clearly as well. It's also really, really important that you are an active presence in the classroom. So that might involve behaviour management depending on the class, but it might be selecting pupils to respond when the presenters ask a question, for example. Sometimes we may not be able to see the whole class and we want to make sure that everyone's engaged and everyone's involved. If there are technology issues, it may involve repeating what a pupil has said or typing a response, so there's as much engagement as possible.
Thank you. And what is there anything I need to do after the session?
Yeah, so basically one of the key things that we always say to teachers is to take a stance on racism, make your pupils aware that you are anti-racist, that you will not stand for racism, because sometimes they need to know where to go if there are incidents of racism. So remind them that incidents can be reported to you. So that would be if in case of an incident, but also we'd like to talk more about education. So continue building upon pupil learning by trying to embed anti-racism in your classroom. It would be really useful for us as an organisation if you could complete the evaluation forms so that we know what worked, what didn't work, and how we can improve our practice moving forward. And if you haven't already, maybe think about what the plan or processes are for dealing with racism in your school if you need to. And there again, Show Racism, the Red Card has resources that you can access on this.
That's brilliant, thank you. The next set of questions are actually scenarios that teachers have presented to us, and I thought it would be helpful if we could talk through some of them. So firstly, what should somebody do if a pupil reports racism to them?
Okay, so the very, very first thing you should do is just listen. Show that you're taking it seriously. Do not, under any circumstances, dismiss that pupil's experience. If it feels like it's racism to them, it has to be investigated as such by speaking to the alleged perpetrator and any bystanders that were around as well. If they feel a victim or a target, assure them support, but also offer them space to share their feelings. Sometimes that might be in the moment, sometimes that might be later on, because obviously all pupils take different time to process situations and how they feel. Speak to the perpetrator and ensure that they understand that what they did was wrong and why. Rather than just telling them off, get them to really understand the issue with what they did or what they said. And get an apology to show that they recognise that and they understand that. If there was understanding, so for example, if a pupil used a word that was racist and they'd used it before knowing what it means, then you will have to use punitive measures as well. And you may have to consider reporting to parents or guardians of or carers of both the victim and the perpetrator. That's kind of the reactive reaction in the moment. You also need to make sure there's a proactive response. So making sure that your response is longer term by embedding anti-racism education. For a more detailed response on this, and also for some flow charts, there's Show Racism, the Red Card Recognising and Responding fact sheet, and that should be in the folder of resources that are sent out to you alongside this video.
Thank you. How can I challenge racism in the classroom?
So you need to do it both implicitly and explicitly. So implicitly could be in the examples you use when in your worksheets, for example, in your displays. Do pupils see themselves, but do they also see others? Are you giving them a wider view of the world? The resources you use, again, are you just giving them a narrow worldview, or are you giving them the chance to explore lots of ideas and cultures and experiences? And the role models that you call upon. Explicitly, it could be in the content you cover. So Show Racism, the Red Card have some resource packs that can support on this with anti-racism activities and resources. There is a working group currently going through with Welsh Government looking at how we can embed anti-racism in the curriculum, but also there are amazing resources that are available from organisations such as the Black Curriculum and the Conscious Kid. So definitely take the time to check those out.
Excellent, thank you. Where can I access further support with regards to anti-racism work in schools?
So obviously I've mentioned our support materials. There are lots of different fact sheets that you can access around specific issues such as using of blackface, for example, but then also broader issues and process issues such as the recording and reporting of racism. So I definitely refer you to the fact sheets and the education packs with lots of activities in, but also remember that there's always someone on the end of the line at Show Racism, the Red Card if you've got a specific issue. So you may want to call us, you may want to contact us through our social media channels. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, or you can email as well at wales@theredcard.org. So please don't hesitate to get in touch if there's anything you need.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So Ravina, are you looking forward to getting ready and going into schools?
I am. Are you?
Fab, I am. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.